Welcome back to another Weeks of Peaks. Week of Peaks?
I wrote down baseball.
Why?
I don't know. That's one of the mysteries.
I do know why.
Why?
Because there's two scenes of people playing catch in this game.
Okay, shh. Don't tell us. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Wait till we get there. You have copious notes. I have baseball. It's one of the mysteries of the Peaks.
Well, all right.
There's more than one mystery.
It feels like we're off our rhythm.
It's off our game.
I don't know if it's because I just woke up.
You just woke up.
I was very tired. I slept till 5 in the morning.
Wow. That's why I said let's do it later today.
Well, no one cares about this.
No one cared about what?
What time we're doing this.
I care.
We're doing this a month and a half early. Nobody cares what time it is.
So you should be awake then.
That's really early. A month and a half?
Oh, yeah. You should be really tired. I understand now. That's way too early.
Pete, there's a guy watching a box. We got to lock in.
All right. We got to do. All right. Blockbuster Be Kind Rewind. Give me the layout of what happened in the last 10 episodes.
There's a guy watching a box.
Yes, but we might be the box, or we might be the guy,
I think we're the guy,
but we are watching him.
but we're not the box. What's in the box? Not us.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head. I've seen this movie.
People say you don't see it, but you do. I don't know what people are talking about. There's a flash.
Is there?
I don't know that it's like it's his head, so maybe it's that, but it looks like a dead head to me.
I thought they didn't. I thought they all followed fish now.
I don't know what you're saying. It's too early for me to unravel your.
You said deadhead, but that's what the Grateful Dead used to call their followers.
It's too early for this, and too late for this. It's never the right time for this.
I have watched 2 episodes of Twin Peaks, Brian, and my head is overflowing with questions, but more importantly, I have answers. I have discovered answers.
I told you last night that part 11 is very jam-packed.
Yes.
And it was very jam-packed. I have more notes for this than I have for most movies we do.
But there's a lot going on, too, in the next 2. It's like they bring up, oh, boy. Okay. All right. Let's get into this because I can't hold back my excitement. Also, baseball.
There's a guy watching a box.
There's a guy watching a box. Bunch of stuff has happened. Mr. C is a bad guy. Dougie Jones is just living his best life out there in Vegas. Oh, right. But those Jim Belushi.
Well, a lot of that's going to happen in these episodes.
All right, let's get to it.
You're starting to recap things that haven't happened yet.
Well, and then Laura Palmer turns out to be alive, and she was hiding this whole time.
That's not a thing that happens. It literally begins with the answer, one half of the answer to your possible question about what baseball was, because 3 kids are playing catch with a baseball.
You know what? It took me a while to realize there were 3 of them.
And I was, me too.
Okay, good. I feel better.
And I was sure one of them was going to get hit by a car again. But they just discovered that the witness that Richard Horne beat to near death crawling out of the woods.
I thought that they were going to get hit by a car, too.
It was set up like they were going to get hit by a car.
It was terrifying, Brian. I just watched Richard Horne kill another kid with a car. I didn't want to see it again. Like, while he's trying to get out of town, run over some more kids.
He's not in town right now, right?
No, he's on the run. That's all I know.
Yeah. So that trauma was averted. They didn't get killed by a car. They just saw a woman crawl out of the woods almost dead.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Then we cut to Shelly's daughter, Becky, and she gets a phone call that pisses her off. But she doesn't have a car, so she calls her mom yelling about her husband. And Shelly leaves work to come get her. And Becky pulls a gun out from under the couch and steals her mother's car with poor Shelly holding on to the hood as she backs away.
Who's the actress who plays the daughter?
Amanda Seyfried.
That's somebody, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's been an actress in something else.
Sure.
Okay, you're the worst, because I recognized her, not from previous episodes, but from this episode. I said, hey, I've seen you in something else, not Twin Peaks.
Ted 2.
I never saw Ted 2.
Then I don't know how to help you. I don't know what else you would have seen her in.
Interesting.
I do know what you would have seen her in. You would have seen her in Jennifer's Body.
I never saw Jennifer's Body.
You've talked about Jennifer's Body.
I've never seen it, though.
You talk about shit you don't know?
All right, hold on. I'm going to write down, what was her name? Amanda C. I'm going to write that down as a new mystery I've just discovered. Okay.
I don't know what you could have seen her in, though. Did you watch Les Mis?
Oh, yeah, that's right. My musical loving nature made me watch Les Mis.
It was great. Did you see Mamma Mia or Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again?
Is she a musical person?
She can be. It's not, like, that's not her primary thing.
How do you know?
Did you see commercials for The Housemaid recently?
No, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what you would have seen her in, honestly, out of all these things.
Huh.
Did you watch Pan?
The hell is Pan?
The Peter Pan movie that was really bad with What was it?
Amanda Seyfried?
Was it Hugh Jackman?
Nope, didn't see that one.
I don't know what you would have seen her in. I think you made up that you've seen this person.
Well, again, I've already written it down.
No, you've seen Mean Girls. That was her first role. She was one
Mean
of
Girls.
the plastics in Mean Girls.
Oh, that's probably what it is, because it's not a recent memory I have. And it took me a while.
Christ.
I didn't recognize her for a long time. She's been in other episodes of Twin Peaks,
That's correct.
but I didn't recognize her. So that makes sense that I saw her like years and years ago, and she was a much younger actress.
All right. Well, Carl Rod gives Shelley a ride to the R&R diner, and Shelley calls Norma, who tells her she should call Bobby, which she probably should have figured out on her own, to be honest with you. Carl uses his radio to get Bobby at the police station, and she tells him that Becky has drove off with a gun. Becky arrives at the apartment her husband was at with the gun, and this is the longest continuing piece of story I can ever remember David Lynch doing in Twin Peaks. We've cut from like 3 different perspectives on this one thing.
Storyline.
I never remember him doing this like this with a side character like this.
Okay.
He would do it with, obviously, if something that Dale Cooper was doing, but following the multiple perspectives on this one seemingly unconnected event to a character we barely know is very strange for the show.
Okay.
A neighbor tells Becky that they just left, and Becky shoots the door repeatedly. Because we're still going with this. So Stephen, her husband, is hiding in a stairway with Alicia Witt, who played Donna Hayward's youngest sister in the original show. And so we can logically conclude she's playing the same character here, although I don't think the show ever tells us that. Her first ever acting role was in David Lynch's Dune when she was like 8. And her second role was on Twin Peaks like 6 years later.
Alicia Witt?
Yeah.
That's a name I've heard before. I don't know where, and we don't have to figure it out now, but I know I've heard of that name before.
You've seen her in Cecil B. Demented.
Holy shit. I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
And Dune. You've seen her in Dune as a child.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Which one does she play? The little sister?
Who?
Paul Atreides' little sister?
No, I think she's like... I can't remember exactly what she is. I think she's like more cosmic, something like that.
Yeah, one of those, the Bene Gesserit.
I think so.
All right. Hey, before we go, Carl.
Yeah.
That's the guy who owns the trailer park.
Yeah.
What was the trailer park called?
Fat Truck.
Yeah. If you'll notice, I saw it said new
Oh, so
on
they
it.
did
So
move
they
it.
did move it.
Yeah,
Now-
he opened it closer to Twin Peaks.
That must have been it. So his deal is, does he know anything? Is he involved, or is he just a guy? Because he had like a radio in the car.
His deal is that he owns the trailer park.
Yeah,
I don't know what else you want from him?
He seems weird. He seems weird, like he knows stuff, and
Everyone's weird in the David Lynch universe, but he just owns the trailer park, and he's a decent human being, as we'll learn later too.
okay, because he had I thought it was weird when he gets in the car and he's got like the police radio in there, and he pulls it out and he just connects right away to whoever is the dispatcher at 911.
It's a CB radio. It's not that fucking complicated.
They don't have CB radios anymore.
They did in 2017 Twin Peaks.
Yeah, you know why? You're right. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I saw the front of one of the cars.
Like, did you really look at that and be like, what a complicated piece of technology
I
that no
did.
one would have? He's got like the thing every old man would have.
And then conversely, I saw a car, I think it was a fancy limo later, and it didn't have any kind of like TV screens or anything. It was just like the old cassette player. And I'm like, oh, this is from olden times. Cars aren't the same anymore. The technology was very ancient in that car. And I think it was a limo.
Okay. That strange modern police station part of the sheriff's department is getting a lot of calls about the shooting. So then we finally get off this Becky-Steven situation, which is so weird to me that it took up that much time. Because this usually would be just like one quick scene, and then we get back to it later with what they do.
Yeah.
But they really followed this.
Is there a reason?
No,
Okay.
they just really followed it. It was interesting.
All right.
And then we're back in Buckhorn, South Dakota, as Cole and the FBI team have taken Bill Hastings to the spot where he claims to have entered the alternate dimension. Hastings sees someone in the shadows, and Albert and Cole see it too. Mm-hmm. Tammy gets information from Hastings about where he was and relays it to Cole and Albert. The woman who plays Tammy is a musician who worked with Lynch on multiple albums.
Okay.
And I don't know that she'd ever acted before this, but clearly I think she's good here. And he gives her a pretty major role, so clearly he just really liked working with her. And just, like I said, this was David Lynch probably, I don't know if he knew it was his last thing. He probably didn't know it was his last major thing, but he got everybody together he liked working with.
Okay. Well, he had 18 hours to film.
Yeah.
He
But this is a major role she's got.
It is. Now, when you say they see a figure, they see one of the goddamn woodsmen.
You know, it is, but it seems like more of a modern woodsman than the other woodsmen I've seen.
I don't know. They're all dirty.
He's dirty.
He's dirty, and he fades in and out of existence.
The bum behind the whatever they used for a Denny's stand-in in Mulholland Drive was dirty, but I wouldn't claim that to be a woodsman.
I think so. I think they're all
That
part
wasn't
and
a
parcel.
woodsman,
That was he faded in and out of existence. How do you
Yeah.
explain that?
Magic.
He looked just like the ones that okay. Well,
My point is he didn't look just like the ones. That he was dirty, yes.
yeah, he was a hobo. They all look like hobos.
I think this was a low-level woodsman, if anything. I don't think he's ever done any woodsmaning.
He hasn't earned his hatchet yet.
He hasn't earned his hat. He hasn't earned his hatchet. I think he barely earned the beard.
Okay, so there's a hierarchy amongst the woods. Okay.
Cole and Albert head to the spot Hastings pointed out, and things go wonky. A portal opens in the sky above Cole, but no one but Cole seems to see it.
But Albert can see that Cole starts like fading in and out too. There's
Yeah.
distortion.
I wonder if I'll get to that when we get to it chronologically.
You're going too slow.
He raises his arms like he wants to be carried into it, and we see what's on the other side, which is a fucking amazing shot. If we see woodsmen on the stairs heading up to what I believe would probably be what's above the convenience store.
Yeah, they were just kind of staring at him because they saw him too.
It was creepy as fuck.
And then he started to disappear, and Albert had to grab him.
Then my next line, because you can't wait for it, Cole begins to fade away, and Albert pulls him back.
That's right, because Albert knows something, and then Albert says something pretty slick. He's like, "Well, I guess they're here or something, or I guess we found out."
Yeah. Albert sees another headless body lying near the site, and he and Cole walk over to it, and he goes, Ruth Davenport, I presume.
They're really piling up.
She has coordinates written on her arm, which kind of just tells you that Hastings' story was true, because they were taking coordinates to Major Briggs in the other side.
Oh yeah, and Cooper's or Evil Cooper's been looking for.
He's looking for coordinates, too.
Yeah.
Diana's smoking a cigarette, and she sees the man who you say is a woodsman. I think he hasn't earned his...
What do you call him then? A woods boy
She sees the filthy hobo.
who can fade in and out of existence?
He's a lodge monster, but he's still a filthy hobo. He has to get permission to be a woodsman. You have to earn that. Maybe this is how he earns his right.
Maybe they were going upstairs to take their final exams. and
Maybe
that's what
maybe they're going up there to take a vote.
No, I think it's a test. You got to take your woodsman test.
She sees the man from the shadows sneaking up to the car Hastings is in, phasing in and out of reality. She says nothing, and he rips Hastings' head apart. And Cole walks over and goes, he's dead.
Well, at first he asked what happened.
He did, but there's no matter of fact, he just stared. He's like, he's dead.
Well, we don't get to see what happened for a while. We just see the cop jump out of the car and go, ooh, and then stand there with his gun going, ooh.
It's a detective. He passed his woodsman test. He moved up.
Yeah, but then we get to see what happened to Matthew Lillard. And you know what happened to him?
His face got ripped off.
Like half his head got taken away, kind of like those two people who were having sex watching The Box. They had their heads ripped off in half.
No, those people were carved up, like sliced up repeatedly.
Yeah, but their brains were missing too. They both had half heads like this guy. See, there's something about that.
Back at the R&R diner, Bobby and Shelley are talking with Becky. Becky wants a divorce, but she loves him. Balthazar Getty shows up to ruin the family moment because Shelley can't break her patterns of falling for the wrong guy.
Yeah, hold on. I didn't know that Billy was the father of.
His name's not Billy, it's Bobby. And secondly, I told you he's the father 3 times on the show.
Well, just now when I watched it, I found out that Bobby is the father.
Bobby's managed to break all of his bad patterns. Shelley has not. And Shelley's daughter's repeating them.
I know Bobby seemed upset about it. And here's what's cool, because Balthazar Getty did show up. And you know what? We know who he is.
I don't know if we ever see him again on the show, so you're going to have a long...
Really?
I think it's just to point out that Shelley can't break her traps as much as she's seeing it repeating in her daughter. She's doing the same thing.
Okay. And that makes sense, because Bill Pullman doesn't really have any skin in this game.
All right, that's your one.
He's just passing through.
Bobby's my favorite character on the show now.
You
This
said
scene
that.
kind of sealed it. This scene kind of sealed it.
Why does this scene seal it for you?
Because I realized that Shelley hadn't grown up or moved on either. Nobody has. It's just Bobby. And Bobby's sitting in a world now where he looks at everything from a different perspective. And he's so fascinating to watch because his first instinct now is always to do good, which is the opposite of what it was the first time around meeting him in 1990. And everyone else doesn't change.
I feel like he was an ineffectual troublemaker from the 90s series.
Sure, he was rebellious, but he also did really bad things.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't remember.
He was drug dealing. He owed a bunch of money to the drug dealers. He ended up shooting a guy. Like, he did bad things. It was self-defense. I always think it was kind of overrated to pin on him that he killed the guy. Like, that's a weird way to say that he fired back and won.
Who
But
fired
he still had
first?
that gun. He still was out in the woods doing a drug deal, trying to scam people out of money, fake drugs, and shooting a guy in the head. So, like, it's still not good.
No, all right. So he does have a checkered past.
Very much. And watching him now, like, seemingly recognizing that, you know, he's still in love with Shelley, but he can see, like, I think that last look on his face, it was like, I wish I'd been better to her and was still with her. But it's also like she doesn't change. I think he feels sorry for her more than he feels sorry for himself because he knows. Everybody knows Balthazar Getty's not a good dude. The police certainly know.
Well, okay, so he's been around. I thought he was Canadian.
Probably is. They're right next to Canada. They're literally right on the border.
Right, that's what I thought for some reason. He was a Canadian, so he's not around all the time.
I said this to you yesterday, but somehow missing the 25 years where Bobby grew up makes this better because he stands out so much compared to the rest of the characters who are all, like I said, slowly in the same place they were when you left them, and then he's in this radically different spot.
Okay, I'm taking your word for it because I can't remember.
No shit.
From the early
You couldn't remember
90s.
who was Becky's father, even though I told you that.
You didn't tell me that.
I told you that on the
First
show.
off, who's Becky?
Okay.
Is that Amanda Seyfried?
Amanda Seyfried, yes.
Is that Amanda Seyfried? Okay, that's Becky.
Gunshots ring out and Bobby yells for everyone to get down.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Well, we're going to literally talk about it now.
wait.
It's too early for this, Pete.
It was, all right, hurry up.
He heads outside to confront whoever fired and finds a family in a minivan, and the mother is yelling at the father about their son finding a gun and shooting it. A horn is honking throughout the scene, so Bobby goes to investigate that, but not before that little shit that fired the gun stares him down, to which Bobby has the perfect facial response, just confusion mixed with more confusion.
Well, that's what was happening. There's this accident. There's parents saying there was a gun in the car and the kid, it was accidentally fired. The kid is just staring the whole time. And is he looking? Is he looking at Bobby or is he looking at nothing? Like I thought he was looking at something off in the distance that only he could see. And
No, I
Bobby
think he was
saw it.
looking at Bobby like, fuck off, what do I give? Fuck.
All
You
right,
know,
see, because the whole thing was weird. Because then the other cop shows up, and there's like a disconnect, almost as if there's something weird happening.
Well, something weird is always happening.
Right, but even more so. Because then what?
They always
happens?
show you. There's not, you make these things up way too hard for yourself.
I don't.
If there was something mysterious in the scene, they would put it in the scene. They
Yeah.
don't hide it from the viewer.
No. But
But
if they
you're,
do
you're like,
show
what is
you.
he looking at? Something we don't see? Then no. The answer is always going to be no.
Oh yeah, what was David Lynch looking at in that one scene in Paris?
What
Where it
episode
was
are you on?
I don't know. Where we talked about it the other day, where he was looking at an art gallery.
In the
of
dream?
Yes. That sometimes things mean things, and I only say
We
that
haven't even gotten to that episode yet.
David Lynch. I haven't watched it either. I just know about it. Lynch loves to create atmosphere and mood. Right?
There's never mystery lodge monsters or electricity doing anything that you're not watching. Never.
no. There was
I'm going to
something.
make this easy for you.
Well, no, because then
No,
we get
next time you want to bring it up, just be like, oh, he's going to tell me it's not true.
no, because then there is weird stuff happening. The very next part when he finally he snaps out of whatever daze he's in, and he walks over to the car with the lady honking it
Do you want to do the recap?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're just jumping ahead on everything.
because it proves my point.
You got to start watching these before the minute before we start recording.
But it proves my. I watched this one hours before because I had to watch the next episode too.
The woman in the car screams at him because she's late for dinner, and she has a sick kid in the passenger seat who looks more like a zombie vomiting fluids than a human at this point. And Bobby's confused face returns.
It's true. All right, but there was more for that because she was shouting out stuff. She was shouting like he's late for dinner. He
They
hasn't-
literally said that.
They haven't seen him in a while, like somebody was missing. And then this kid shows up like a zombie, like you said, puking out blood. That was not blood; it was just like drool. And then we just go away from it, and it never comes back again.
Good way to tell you it's not that important, but I feel like you're going to be hung up on this for the rest of the time.
How is it not important?
Weird stuff's always happening in Twin Peaks. And Pete, we've been over this. It hasn't been happening for a while, and the weird stuff is returning. And that is the look on Bobby's face. Is that unexplainable weird? Yeah. If you let me do the job I'm supposed to be doing, you would always be like
Doing
this.
a terrible job at it, and I think you missed.
Yeah, I keep getting interrupted.
And I think you missed why you know what preceded all that weird stuff happening? A dimensional traveler walked past them.
Did they?
Yes.
So they didn't hide it.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, I'm
it was,
always right,
It
Pete.
was Bill Pullman. Just because he was by,
Oh,
he brought the
'cause Balthazar
weirdness.
Getty?
He walked by, and then the weirdness immediately followed. Like it trails in the wake. Like
You
you don't
already
just.
used your one for this episode.
It's just like you get one lodge monster, right? Like
Bill
there's
Pullman's not a lodge monster.
no, but there's always other stuff that comes through with them.
Hmm.
There's always a weirdness. All right, that's what I think now. All right, I understand what you're saying.
Hawk and the new Sheriff Truman look at some maps. One is a modern online map, and the other is a very old map that Hawk has. Hawk's is much more useful. I think that's just a slight commentary
but
on
that-
the old ways.
That map changes though.
Truman asks what the fire drawn on the map is, and Hawk says it isn't really fire, it's more like modern day electricity.
which don't make no sense.
If we continue to think of the way that these spirits or odd things traverse the world, it's always through electricity, it seems.
But it used to be fire.
Well, they didn't have electricity back in the day. They had fire, which is an old form of electricity, and now it's become, the thing on the map at least, is representing something more akin to modern electricity.
I wonder what that means.
It means that there's fire where they're going.
Yeah, that's what the log lady says.
Truman asks if it is good, and Hawk says it depends on the intention behind the fire, which is a good point because Dale Cooper also moves around by electricity at this point.
And I remember episode 8 or chapter 8 or whatever we're calling them, where
You got it wrong both times.
part 8, where
Got a light.
got a light, where there was the bad, and then there was the fireman who let out the good energy. Like,
Well, it's interesting that he later, at some point when he pops back up in the credits, named the fireman, because if we see fire as another form of electricity here, he's fighting the fire.
or
It's a little more on the nose than Lynch usually is, but it's also, I think, pretty great.
but the fire is good and bad,
It
depending
is.
on the energy behind it. So maybe he's not fighting it. Maybe he's just tending his fire.
His name is the fireman.
Yeah, he's tending the good
Firemans
fire.
fight fires.
Not always.
What do you think they do?
No,
They play
teach
cards
people.
and
They
order a lot of
teach
pizza.
people about fires.
When I was a
and
pizza
they teach-
delivery guy, the pizza place over here near us, the fire hall right next to us, ordered 7 sheets and 7 buckets, and I carried 7 sheets down to their basement, and the guy wouldn't even grab the door for me. I had to get the door open with 7 sheets in my hand, and then he looked at me and goes, "We ordered buckets too," and I was like, 7 sheets in my hand. I was like,
So you're telling me the fireman's a bad guy?
I'm telling you, firemen, they're fucking entitled pieces of shit,
All right, so
and they never tipped once.
So that-
and they were using our money to pay for their stuff anyway.
that lady who was in the house with him, that tower on the castle, she was probably like a slave or something. Because firemen are jerks. That's what I've learned.
Senorita Dido
Senorita Dido. Is that her name?
was the one who was with the firemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like a singer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Truman points to a symbol on the map and says it matches what they saw in Major Briggs's message. He asks what it is, and Hawk says, "You don't ever want to know about that." Then the log lady calls to ask Hawk what he found, and he says he can't tell her. He knows she's dying. He can just tell her. She's been assisting him in every stage of this investigation. I thought this was kind of like, dude, give her something. You know that she's on her deathbed, and you know she's been the one causing you to look into this in the first place. Everything you have is because she told you.
So what does he want? What do you want from him?
To tell her what he found.
But she doesn't want to know.
She does. She asks literally, "What did you find?"
Oh.
Oh my God.
I thought she was just there to pass on information from the log.
No. Well, he says he can't tell her, and she says, "My log is afraid of fire, and there's fire where you're going." I like that line. That's also the secret title of this episode is "There's fire where you're going."
And fire walk with me.
Yep.
I wonder
Which now we take as electricity. We can change that word out.
Electricity with me.
But even electricity, which we see the man from another place say the one time in Fire Walk with Me, even that is not representative of actual electricity. It's the way to describe how these things operate.
Their movement or whatever.
Yeah. Last episode or a couple episodes ago, the log lady told them the electricity is humming around Twin Peaks. And now we see the strange things starting to come back. Mm-hmm. It was around this point where this is where I realized that I was so completely locked into the show again that every line and moment was meaningful to me and in a weird way sometimes moving to me. And maybe more so now that Lynch is gone and this was his last major work. Like I was so in tune with this episode specifically at this moment. And it's almost as if Lynch knew that was going to happen because then he throws in just a random nothing moment where a deputy we've never seen comes to the door, knocks, and asks Sheriff Truman if he wants to see his new car. And Truman's like, "I'm a little busy. Can I look at it tomorrow?" And he goes, "Great." And that was the entire purpose, was just to try to throw me off my rhythm.
What about it sucked you back in here? Like, why? Is it the revelations? Is it the map? Is it like the sense of getting closer to something?
It was having the Bobby scene where you see the oddities returning to Twin Peaks, then followed by Hawk letting us know what he knows. And just, I felt like everything started to get into a rhythm in Twin Peaks for the first time. Like, it's all coming back. And that's the whole point of the show, is to return. And it's all returning, good and bad.
Okay, that's true. Because it's all, there's doors opening all over the goddamn place.
Cole and Albert have one of their Cole can't hear Albert conversations while Diane sits with them. Cole asks to see the picture Albert took of Ruth Davenport with the coordinates on her arm, and Diane memorizes the numbers, but Albert catches her doing it. Then we're back in Vegas, finally, for Dougie Jones time. Dougie's boss calls him into the office, and the guy who always brings the coffee leads Dougie in with his coffee. The boss's name is Mullins. Mullins breaks down the entire plot involving organized crime, conspiracy, the Mitchum brothers being innocent, and that Dougie uncovered all of this, even though Dougie has no idea what's happening or that he did that or what's being explained to him.
Dougie just followed coffee into an office building.
The Mitchums want to have a sit-down with Dougie. Mullins doesn't know that the Mitchums think Dougie screwed them. He gives Dougie a $30 million check to give the Mitchums, who might just try to kill Dougie before he figures out to give it to them.
But didn't we have a scene with the brothers first? Like they were having breakfast?
Nope, I would have said that. The Mitchum brothers have breakfast, and Belushi tells his brother he had a dream about killing Dougie Jones, and he can't wait to do it. Mullins then walks Dougie out of his office to wait for the car the Mitchums are sending, but Dougie sees Mike beckoning him from the Red Room into a shop in the Quad.
Mike's the one-armed lodge monster.
Yes. Dougie enters the car with whatever he picked up at the store inside a box, and he drives off to meet... I would love to have seen the scene where he figured out how to order or pay for that.
I think his boss helped
I think
him.
he did, yeah. He pointed where Mike pointed, and yeah. I still would have liked to have seen it. It doesn't change my...
You don't have to have everything explained, Brian.
I have to have this one. I want to see Dougie shopping.
I want to see how he does everything.
He's driven off to meet the Mitchums at what he's told will be a restaurant, but is actually the desert. Ooh, we have desert and dessert in this one.
Ooh.
Not that it would matter since he's unaware of his assignment, the Mitchum's plan, or what's in the box he's holding. I love Dougie. As they drive, we hear the Sean Colvin from Sonny Came Home. Remember that song?
Yes.
We hear her cover version of Viva Las Vegas.
Is that who that was?
And it's so anti-Lynch to have this scene that I don't know why it's there, and I genuinely wonder why he did it.
What do you mean it's anti-Lynch?
A montage of Dougie getting driven out of Las Vegas while somebody plays the needle drop Viva Las Vegas. That's never been a Lynch thing in any of his work. It's very weird. It almost makes me wonder if someone else got into the editing suite and put that in, because that's like anti what I consider him doing.
Well, they're driving out of Las Vegas, and we get to see all the things. And I was trying to pick out all the different casinos I was at, because I've been to some of them.
Wow.
And then, I don't know, is it separating itself? Is this saying he's leaving Las Vegas?
No, they would have used leaving Las Vegas for that.
Because then he comes back.
He never leaves Las Vegas. He goes to the desert part of Las Vegas and then gets taken back into the city proper. Belushi tells his brother more about the dream. He says that the cut he got from Candy was healed in his dream. He rips off the Band-Aid and it's healed. He knows there's more to the dream, but he can't remember it. So here's my question, even though I hate opening doors for you because...
Red Door.
Were these dreams implanted by the Red Room?
That is a question you have just posed to me. And who would...
Because Mike's been looking out for Dougie the best he can.
He has.
And why would he tell him to get the pie if he didn't put the dream in his head too?
But dreams have happened. You're right, because Mike knew about the pie. Because I'm just wondering, because dreams are all over the place in Twin Peaks. And I've never thought about who's sending them or how they work.
I just think this is like the only way he could get him out of it was to implant in one of their heads that Dougie's their friend and then find a way to... It's like he inceptioned him.
I mean, that makes sense, because otherwise they were pretty hell-bent on killing him, because they ate breakfast and Jim Belushi was all full of anger.
But then he started remembering his dream, and he's like... So I think that was artificially placed there.
That would make sense. Have we seen art dreams being implanted elsewhere?
I don't even know how to begin to think about answering that question. Because part of me thinks that's like an existential question about the entire show itself.
Or life. But yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good theory you got there.
Because we see Mike so adamantly going, you got to get this pie.
Right.
He knows about the dream.
Hey,
so if he knows about the dream, why couldn't he have been the one to put it there?
We didn't know about the pie yet. You didn't read it.
I said dessert.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know what kind.
The limo driver pulls up with Dougie and gets him out of the car. Belushi remembers the box from his dream. He says if what's in the box is what he saw in the dream, it means they can't kill him. This is why I think it was planted, because that message isn't part of a dream. That message is somebody telling you, this, if he has this, he's your friend. Somebody had to actually say that to him, I think. The dream told him that if he has a cherry pie in the box, it means he isn't their enemy. And that's exactly what's inside the box. What's in the box?
Did you see how excited Jim Belushi was about the cherry pie?
Belushi's doing a good job here.
I never thought, I liked Jim Belushi when he was in K-9. because I was a child.
Because you were 9 years old.
Because I was 9 years old, and
You
I
were
was
Pete 9.
I was Pete 9, and I was watching K9. And you know what I thought? This is a much better Turner and Hooch. This is how you make a movie with a dog cop in it.
You just think that because he doesn't die in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I love Jim Belushi. Then he went on to do a bunch of nothing for a very long time. And I started to not like Jim Belushi. And you know what? I feel stupid for that now, Brian, because Jim Belushi is back. He's back and he's better than ever.
Well, this was 9 years ago, and he's back to doing nothing. So,
Well,
9 years ago, he was back.
9 years ago was Jim Belushi's peak.
Belushi, peak. Belushi frisks him and finds the check for $30 million made out to them. They take their new best friend, Dougie, to the restaurant. They talk about Dougie's son not having a gym set, which makes you wonder how they got on that. What did Dougie repeat to make them say he doesn't have a gym set? But his name's Sonny Jim. So there's avenues into at least part of that word.
Is a gym set like a fucking like swing set or something?
Like what I bought your kids many moon ago.
God, I'm so glad it's gone now.
Thanks.
I hated putting it together. I hated tearing it apart.
Well, Tex put it together
I
mostly.
hated weed whack. I hated having
We did it
Tex
for
at my
8 hours.
house. I know, on the hottest day of the year.
It was the only hot day of the entire summer that year.
Yep, that's when we decided to build that goddamn thing.
The woman who named him Mr. Jackpots is all cleaned up and gussied up and runs over to thank Dougie for saving her life. Dougie gets distracted by the piano player, who starts playing a song written by series composer Angelo Badalamenti. Now, I find this to be one of the most interesting moments in the entire show, because Dougie reacts to it the same way he reacts to Agent, or the same way he reacts to words that he recognizes from his previous life as Dale Cooper. Mm-hmm. But he would never hear the work of Angelo Badalamenti unless he was watching the show.
Why?
Because we hear the score of a show. The characters inside the show don't hear the score playing on a show.
But that guy was playing a piano in a restaurant. He could hear it.
But he wouldn't have any reaction to Angelo Badalamenti music because he'd never watched Twin Peaks, because he's a character in Twin Peaks, which goes back to my question of what Twin Peaks ultimately is and who is Dale Cooper.
But I'm sorry, I'm confused by this song.
It shouldn't be hard. The score of Twin Peaks is very famous. If you start hearing parts of it or themes or variations of it, you know what it is. You'll know when you hear it. The person who can't know that, the only people who can't in the world know that are people in the show who aren't listening to the score of the show they're on, because it's done after. So they're not walking around a world where the score is playing. So he's never heard Angelo Badalamenti. So when he hears it and he reacts to it the same way he reacts to other things that connect him to being Dale Cooper, that doesn't fundamentally make sense unless Twin Peaks is a fucking television show.
Okay, but you got to go back. So this Angelo.
This is why I hate doing this.
I know, but you go too fast for me. You assume a lot of things. So the Angelo, this composer, he isn't like a famous composer like Bach or anything. He's just famous for making the
He
Twin
wouldn't
Peaks
exist
soundtrack.
in the world of Twin Peaks for the characters in Twin Peaks. Dale Cooper, there can't be an Angelo Badalamenti inside of Twin Peaks.
Okay, but he's a real life person.
Yes, but
okay.
that would mean nothing to a character on a TV show.
Fine, but no, stop jumping ahead. He's a real life person, and he made the soundtrack for Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Okay. But he doesn't have like other stuff. Like you and I would know him as the composer.
I'm going to try this again. Dougie only reacts this way to things that mean something to Dale Cooper that unlock parts of his memory. Playing a theme that you would hear in Twin Peaks can't mean anything to a character in Twin Peaks. Who forget anything else that Badalamenti's done. This is a Twin Peaks theme playing in a bar, where a former Twin Peaks character is now locked into a different character, and he hears it and reacts to it as if it means something to him, and it can't. Unless Dale Cooper isn't real to even the person that is Dale Cooper.
I understand what you're trying to say.
It doesn't seem like you do.
I do, because I'm still hung up on the other part.
You got to let these things go, because you make up these things in your head that aren't there.
I'm not, though. I'm trying to understand your point.
Well, I've explained it 5 times.
If Dale Cooper is responding to the Twin Peaks soundtrack,
sure,
that's what he's doing. That means that we're bringing in this real world that we live in.
Yes.
Okay. So in the real world that we live in, Angelo, whatever his face is.
Okay, you've got to focus on this one very important part. We've only seen 3 or 4 times where Dougie stops what he's doing and reacts to something. So that everything else that you're bringing in doesn't matter, because that is the moment where the Dale Cooper inside of him is connecting to something. It's happened 3 or 4 times. So whatever you're going to say next, unless it connects to The 3 or 4 times Dale Cooper has reacted to something in a way that it means something to who he used to be and who's lost inside, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if he could have heard Angelo Badalamenti do something else in a different world, because this is a Dale Cooper reaction. So Dale Cooper would have had to hear it. Dale Cooper.
Dale Cooper can't react to a soundtrack.
I said that 5 minutes ago. That's the interesting part of it.
But you're saying he is.
He definitely is. That's the interesting part of it.
If we're bringing in the
When
real
they show
world,
you a flag and he stares at the flag because it means something to him. When they show you a badge and it means something to him. When he sees case files, those things matter to Dale Cooper, who we're not seeing. We're seeing Dougie Jones.
right?
This song mattered in the same way, as if it's a piece of a puzzle of Twin Peaks and everything we know about Dale Cooper and Twin Peaks, but it changes things because it breaks a fourth wall into, is the person that is the Dale Cooper that we've seen in the show Twin Peaks even that?
Yes, I understand
Then
everything.
what is your possible
Because
question?
if you open up the real world, then you bring in all these other questions.
I just told you they just did.
yeah,
And that's the questions I said were interesting.
right, and that opens up so many more of them.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, but also about the very song that he's listening to by Angela Bassett. It's not. It's the possibility exists that there's all sorts of weird things. But I get what you're
I'm
saying.
specifically saying that Dale Cooper that we watched for all those years in Twin Peaks that has been in this situation is not the real Dale Cooper. That there's a person, he's an avatar for someone dreaming into a different world is my what I believe.
Okay.
And him and Laura share dreams, and I don't think they share them from the same plane of existence.
Huh. Is Kyle MacLachlan the one then?
No, I don't think that's true.
Would he?
I think it's just a different realm.
So in theory, Kyle MacLachlan could be an avatar as well, like the real one, who's the actor.
Sure, if you want to, because when you get to that David Lynch dream you haven't even watched yet, I think he's just David Lynch in that scene talking to actual Monica Bellucci about something real on a real street where a real thing is happening.
All right, hold on, I'm not there yet.
Because he's dreaming into a different world of himself where he's David Lynch. That's my theory on that scene.
All right, okay. No, I was just wrapping my head around the fact
You
that
weren't.
he heard a song, and it's the theme song for Twin Peaks. And Dale Cooper in Dougie is responding to the song of the Twin Peaks song.
A song
but
that he could never have heard.
because there is no Twin Peaks TV show in,
There shouldn't be two Dale Cooper, unless Dale Cooper is something else.
and we're just
Somebody who
assuming-
can view things from outside that reality. Somebody who can view things from inside the reality. Maybe he's not exactly the same. Like the memories of Dale Cooper and the memories of the person who... it's hard to get into this without getting into the finale of the show.
Right.
So I want to table it, but it just annoys me that you can't catch on to the thing that I've explained very well.
because there's too many other things, and I don't want to try to just listen to your point of view.
That's not a reason to destroy the idea that
I'm not. I'm
is
trying to
right in front
understand
of
it.
you.
I'm trying to understand that there's lots of other things that brings in. So maybe that's not the case. But
I just think that Twin Peaks is a reality into itself. It's real to the people in Twin Peaks, and we're watching that reality when we're watching the show. And Dale Cooper is a character in that show. But the only way that the character Dale Cooper could hear the Angelo Badalamenti score is if he could also he also exists in and can view it from a different perspective as well. I don't think that's that complicated.
so which one was Bill Pullman?
He's not in this. They all enjoy the pie, and the non-Belushi brother says the pie is so damn good, and Dougie repeats, damn good.
There, see, that makes sense. That's something
It's the
that
exact same thing we just did with
that's
Angelo
what
Badalamenti.
Dale Cooper used to know. So now he's like, damn fine. Damn fine. I wrote that down twice.
Candy serves Dougie another piece of pie, not realizing how hard I ship them as a couple.
You know, I forgot. That was another brilliant scene of trying to get Candy's attention.
Yep.
Candy.
It's like doing this with you.
Ooh, do I get shipped with Dougie, or do I get Naomi Hotz?
The piano player switches back to the somber Badalamenti theme while the credits roll. And I think that's one of the most fascinating moments in Twin Peaks The Return because it does open the door to an interpretation much larger than the one you're probably thinking about throughout most of the show. And I think the show will continue to push things in a direction that gets bigger. But always consider it like a Wizard of Oz thing, okay? If Dorothy wakes up in Kansas, she's really been to Oz. Now, she got there by dreaming, whether she got there by tornado, however she got there, doesn't matter. She was in Oz. That was real. That was a real place, however she got there, whatever mystical ways. And here, it's a real place they get through electricity, which, by the way, is how television operates. It's how you turn television on, how the signals get moved through electricity. Yeah. So if Dorothy wakes up and sees something that reminds her of Oz, that's one thing. But if she hears the score from the movie The Wizard of Oz and reacts to it, that means that both realities, she can remember, like, that Dorothy could watch herself in The Wizard of Oz, in Oz land.
But what if the score was just going all the time and we just didn't hear it? Like they heard it too while they walked around and stuff.
Because then he wouldn't react to it the way he did Pete. Everything has a cyclical answer that you can get to on not even getting to point B.
But you're not 100%.
I'm 100%.
You're not, though.
I am.
Because you don't know that music isn't just constantly playing in this universe.
I know that they're not listening to it.
Well,
Because he wouldn't react to it that way.
I wouldn't listen either if it was constantly going on.
See, this is the problem, is that you get hung up on things that are just easily disproven.
I don't think it's easily. This show has taught me that nothing is easily disproven.
I can disprove to you that Bill Pullman's in it, and here we are heading to part 12.
He is, though. Maybe not the actor, but Balthazar Getty.
Maybe?
Balthazar Getty acts so much like Bill Pullman did. in
Maybe
Lost
not the
Highway.
actor?
Balthazar Getty is 100%.
You're still holding out that maybe he was in here?
I'm just saying, are we really sure that was Balthazar Getty? I've never heard that guy before, aside from Lost Highway, and I've heard Bill Pullman a lot.
All right, part 12.
There was no Roadhouse Diner or R&R.
Because we listened to the piano player instead.
Yeah, so
I've told you that things get weird at the end of these episodes going forward.
okay. Now,
Where even when we're watching at the Roadhouse, the next episode is going to be weird. And it's going to play into things that I don't feel like even getting into with you anymore because you're killing me here.
no, this is so exciting. Don't you bring up these things that require me having more knowledge, and I'm not there yet.
I know, and I have to do it in a way where I can't even give away where things are going. It's very difficult to do. But I'll just say that the idea that there's a Dale Cooper exists outside of Twin Peaks, the TV show, who could know about the TV show is a thing that is plausible.
But maybe it's not even Dale Cooper. Maybe it's just somebody having
I would
a
say
dream.
it's not Dale Cooper. I would say Dale Cooper's
a dream or
yes.
something.
Yes, we live inside a dream. Okay, there's a guy watching a box.
Okay, so there's a guy watching a box, and we ended at, where did we end? We ended with Cooper listening to some music, or Dougie. Oh man, when Jim Belushi found that pie in the box, he was like, cherry pie. He was so excited.
It's cherry pie.
Yes, exactly.
I love that episode. I forgot how great episode 11 was. And to the point where I think part 12 is great too, but part 11 is so good that I was like, oh, not enough happened in part 12.
I don't know when it was, but you were right. You brought it up that everyone who comes in contact with Cooper, like there's almost like a goodness that you can see.
Look at Mr. Jackpots, the Mr. Jackpots lady. Mm-hmm. One brief encounter and her whole life has changed for the better. I mean, Naomi Watts, we've been over this. Sonny Jim's going to be in a better place. Everybody's going to be in a better place. But what happens to them when Dougie has to eventually go back?
I don't know, what was it like before he started to get the Cooper stuff, when he was just the facsimile of
Their life wasn't nearly as good as it is with Dougie not even doing anything.
just by a blank Cooper being there.
His energy is it's funny that we've already set up that perhaps Laura's energy is the counterbalance to the evil in the world, because Dale Cooper's energy certainly is that.
He walks around changing the energy in a room.
Effortlessly. And go back to the things that I've said that you disagree with about what's powering Twin Peaks. In the original show, we're seeing it through Dale Cooper's perspective, and it has that lighthearted, oddball quality to it throughout the entire thing. Dale Cooper's not in Fire Walk with Me. It's from the perspective of a tortured,
I hate that movie.
and abandoned girl who
Stop talking about it.
it feels dark and dangerous the way that she would feel the world looks, the way she would look at the world. What's powering a Twin Peaks right now is nothing, which is why it's just kind of stuck in place. But look at the places that Dale Cooper, even not even being Dale Cooper, is touching around the world and how they're changing to what Twin Peaks was. The Mitchum Brothers thing is a full-on Twin Peaks season 1 or 2 thing at this point.
What do you mean the season one?
It would fit right into season 1 or 2 of Twin Peaks with the quirkiness, with the weirdness, with the whole thing, the dream, the pie, the way that their characters have changed, the whole thing with the showgirls, all of it is just like a full on Twin Peaks idea. But it's not happening in Twin Peaks; it's happening in Las Vegas because that's where Dale Cooper is, and he's influencing the whole world around him to bend to that kind of thing. Whereas the real Twin Peaks has none of those moments, none of them, because he's not there.
Right. I know why we don't see Balthazar Getty anymore.
Oh my God.
No, I'm going to let it go. I know why. Because
We're never going to see him again. So this is the last time I want to hear
You
about
explained
Balthazar
it to me right there because all this stuff is coming back and he realizes he can't just do whatever he's doing in this town anymore.
We probably see him again. I
He
can't
needs
imagine
to,
he's just gone.
he needs to get out of Dodge, so he does.
Maybe he's gone. I don't know.
Right, because the bad guys are coming.
All right. We open with Cole, Albert, and Tammy drinking wine, and we finally get information on what the blue rose is on Lil's dress from 25 years ago in Fire Walk With Me. Albert tells her that the Air Force shut down something called Project Blue Book in 1970, and it was investigations into UFOs, and they said there was no evidence, so they closed it up, and he goes, so basically they lied.
Yeah.
A few years later, the FBI and the military, which is an important distinction because I never knew that, even if you could kind of guess what Blue Rose was, the military aspect of it is interesting because it brings Major Garland Briggs much deeper into this process than you would have guessed at any point of the thing. I thought it was just an FBI thing.
Okay. I thought he was somehow involved because, his head.
It seemed like he knew things,
His
but it
head
didn't
in
seem like he was
space.
involved. And here's the thing. This is retconning some stuff because Garland Briggs and Dale Cooper have a lot of conversations in Twin Peaks, the original show, that dance around topics like this, but they don't act like colleagues working on the same case. And this retcon here seems to say that they both had missions that would have been kind of in line with each other, and they would have known that. So this is something you kind of just have to accept as,
Okay.
yeah. Although he did give him all the information, so he was sharing the information. You could get there. You can get there pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure. Like maybe they weren't as lockstep working together. They were just they knew that they were working on it. Or
It's
they
a weird
didn't.
dynamic anyway. He gives him everything. He gives Cooper all the information, so he's clearly working with him. But it's just there's never a scene that makes you think that they're doing it for the purpose of, yeah, we knew what we were here doing. Where, I mean, I think you know what Garland Briggs is doing, but is what he was trying to do. But Dale Cooper seems to stumble onto things in a way that don't really fit with what we learn later in the show. Not this episode. A few years later, the FBI and the military formed a secret task force to look into those things because the Air Force shut it down, called the Blue Rose Task Force.
Named after whatever one of the people said when they died.
Yeah, and I think it was in Fire Walk With Me where they said, where Kiefer Sutherland's character asked Chet Desmond, who we're going to hear name dropped in a second. I was so excited. Asked him what the blue rose meant, and he's like, it's something that can't exist in nature. It's unnatural. That's what it represents. But he also won't tell him what, in a larger point, now we can connect that this is the task force that investigates things that can't exist in nature. Cole suggested Agent Philip Jeffries to head the squad, and he recruited Chet Desmond, Albert, and Dale Cooper to join. This is slightly problematic because in Fire Walk With Me, but I can never remember if it's, I can't remember if it's in the movie or if it's in the cut pieces where there's like 90 minutes of outtakes and different cuts. But I think it's in the movie where Philip Jeffries walks in and sees Dale Cooper and he reacts to him very strangely, which I always took as he could have seen him in the future as Mr. C and been like, because he says, who do you think this is here? But David Lynch says, Gordon Cole says, meet the long-lost Philip Jeffries, which means he's never met Philip Jeffries. So how did he recruit him for this task force?
Well, it's possible he just got a letter.
Oh. 3 of those 4 have disappeared, which is why Cole doesn't want any new people in the task force, but they're asking Tammy to join, and she excitedly accepts. Which seems like a dumb thing to accept because, as Albert pointed out, I'm the only one left.
There's upward mobility.
Diane joins them, and they tell her they want to temporarily deputize her to help them out. And she agrees by saying one of the key phrases from Twin Peaks in the alternate title of the episode, "Let's rock."
Yeah, what's up with that? What does it mean in the original?
You can go back and listen to last week's episode.
I'm not going to. What happened?
That's what, Dale has the dream that puts him in the Red Room for the first time in episode 3. The man from another place is standing in a corner, like rubbing his hands, and he turns around and he goes, "Let's rock." And then when you see Agent Chet Desmond, before he disappears at the Fat Trout Trailer Park, not the new Fat Trout Trailer Park, the original Fat Trout Trailer Park, written on his car as he tries to leave is "Let's rock." So it's now been in all 3 pieces of this. Meanwhile, Jerry Horn is finally running out of the forest. I swear that's still going somewhere. This is, believe it or not, this is still going somewhere.
Because we didn't see him get anywhere. Did he have blood on his hands too? It looked like he had. It was either. It looked like he had red hands. If he had done something not good.
Sarah Palmer is shopping for liquor and cigarettes, and she inquires about the new jerky behind the counter and starts to have an episode. She says, "Things can happen. Something happened to me." She then talks to herself and says, "Sarah, stop doing this." leave this place, and walks out without her stuff. The bag boy says he knows where she lives and can deliver them later. So, I don't know how you took the Sarah thing. Yeah, she's been tortured and horrible pain and suffering for a long time.
She ate a frog moth.
She ate a frog moth. But the more interesting part is that I don't think that was Sarah talking to herself. I think that was something that is coexisting inside of Sarah Palmer, telling her, "Stop making the scene. We got to get out of here."
Yeah, I had that thought too. But what is it? What could it be? Like, is it? Because the idea is it's part of the evil, right? Because the frog moth is a bad thing that came from the atomic bomb birth of Bob and
Correct.
everything.
I think you'll find out in a future episode.
But I want to know now.
Carl Rad stops a tenant as he's heading out and asks if he's been selling his blood again. He says he has, and Carl gives him money for the work he's done around the trailer park and tells him not to pay this month's rent. And the next time he's going off to sell blood, to come to him first. Just a scene to show you that there's still good people out here.
Is that? I thought he was a vampire.
In the sun?
Oh, well, you know what? Seattle is like really cloudy a lot.
That's not Seattle. Dougie and Sonny Jim play catch with a baseball.
This is why I wrote baseball.
It goes about as well as you'd expect. We see exactly one throw that hits Dougie in the face and rolls away. And he does it in like a distant shot. So it's as funny as it can be. And it just hits the ground. Sonny Jim stares at it. And then it never cuts, and then just cuts to the next thing. It never, just one shot.
The look on Sonny Jim's face is fantastic. That kid deserves an Oscar.
Comedic gold. Hawk turns up at the Palmer house, which I think is the first time we've actually just been seeing the Palmer house here.
From the outside, yeah, I think so.
It's so creepy. It's such a creepy house now.
It's weird how that works. I don't remember, you know what I mean? I don't remember the previous installment so well, but I saw that house, and I said, that's not a nice house.
No, it's not. You see the ceiling fan, too. Remember the ceiling fan? That's what he'd turn on so that his wife couldn't hear her.
I know what it is. Okay. You don't have to tell me.
Hawk turns up at the Palmer house to ask Sarah about what happened at the store. He's just checking up on her to make sure she's okay, but he hears bottles rattling around inside the house and asks if someone is there. She says that there isn't.
She says it's something in the kitchen. Just something in the kitchen.
He tells her to call if she needs help of any kind. So there's still good people in Twin Peaks.
He said
and now they're being activated because there's bad things in Twin Peaks again.
But Cooper's not back. So without a leader, I don't know that they can do anything.
Sheriff Truman visits Ben Horn to tell him that his grandson Richard ran over and killed that kid and then tried to kill the witness. Ben says he'll pay for her operation and hasn't been in contact with him since he cut him off years ago. And he's mournful about all of it.
And then he talks about a fucking bicycle for 6 hours.
I love this scene.
Why?
I love this scene because it's first of all, Ben Horn in the original show was, kind of a dickhead.
Was he sleeping with all the underage girls at that place?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck him then.
Well, they did.
No, fuck him in a bad way. Like, I need him to die. That kind of fuck him.
But by the end of the show, he said he was turning over a new leaf. And it really, really seems like for 25 years he held up that end of the bargain.
Yeah, well, you did a lot of bad. I haven't seen him do anything good yet. Only thing I've seen him try to do is not sleep with the secretary. And I think he failed at that.
I don't know that he did it.
I don't either.
Know that he did. I think that we didn't see it, but I think that he managed to not do it.
I'm not sure yet. Because I don't like this guy. If I have to pick a side, and I do, I choose the Jerry side.
Yeah, I mean Jerry's funnier.
Yeah,
but I like the scene where he talks about his dad giving him that bike.
Why?
Because it's his Rosebud moment. You've seen Citizen Kane.
Yeah, a long time ago.
This is his moment where he's connecting to a memory from his childhood and connecting it to why Richard just grew up so fucked up. Because Richard doesn't have a father that raised him. Richard doesn't have anything. They don't even know that Richard has inside of him is the fucking evil Bob, the child of Bob. So they don't know that he never really had a chance. But he's thinking about how his own life, like, here's a man who did horrible things and has been working really hard to not do horrible things anymore. And the thing that he finally gets wistful about after 27 years of watching him, I mean, most of the time you weren't watching him, but 27 years of seeing the character, is this memory he's tapped into about how his father did something kind for him. And he's thinking about Richard and how, like, nobody's ever done anything kind for Richard. And I think that's interesting. I think it's an interesting way to do it.
Agree to disagree.
I never agree to that. Ben gives Truman the key to Dale's old room, the one that Jade mailed.
Right, the physical key, not the swipe card.
The key that has saved Dougie's life.
Uh-huh.
And then Jade found it in the car. She mailed it back, and he wants to give it to Harry because he thinks it'll mean something to him.
But the other Sheriff Truman seems to want it for himself.
No, he's giving it to Harry. He doesn't give a shit about that. He doesn't ever met Dale Cooper.
I don't know. He seemed excited about it.
You misinterpreted scenes with no subtext.
But it seemed like he was excited about it.
Yeah, to give it to Harry. Because Harry's probably talked about Dale Cooper a ton.
I think they're going to try to open the room. And then if they open the room with that
It won't open the room.
It'll
Because
open it to
they
a-
have cards now.
Yeah, but there's still old keys on there.
No, there's not, Pete. They've
Have you
changed the
looked?
doors. Yes.
No, you haven't.
I've been there.
That's bullshit.
I went to Twin Peaks and I looked.
That's 100% bullshit.
No, I looked.
I think it's going to open up into like its own lodge. If they use that key to open a door, it opens a doorway into the lodge dimension.
Cole is with a lady. Maybe it does. Cole is with a lady in his hotel room. Albert knocks on the door, and the lady takes a hilarious amount of time getting ready to leave. And poor Albert has to stand there and wait silently.
That was awesome. Like, he was just sitting there telling her, as near as I could tell, old episodes of TV shows he had watched. And she is just kind of like leaning on him. Is she a prostitute? Is she just somebody that he's hanging out with? I don't know. But
Do you think she's a prostitute because she's French?
well, yeah.
Gordon Cole doesn't pay for it.
But no, she was hanging out at the bar, and he was at the hotel bar. Are they still in South Dakota? At the South
course they are.
Dakota Hotel Bar.
By the
They
way,
have
the nicest
French-
place in South Dakota.
I think all of South Dakota. But yes, if I were a French prostitute
Yeah,
and
that's
I was
what you'd be,
hanging out in
South
South Dakota,
Buckhorn, yeah.
in Buckhorn, South Dakota, and this fancy guy with pretend hearing aids came up to me.
They're not pretend.
Oh,
He
they're
just-
pretend.
He just
He's because he
he
turns
just
him-
lies. I think he just lies.
he turns him down and then tells people to whisper. Because
No, Pete, you got this completely wrong. He turns it way up, which is why he has to tell them never to make any sudden or sharp noises. And earlier in an episode, when he does that, somebody just scratches their feet and he's just like head almost explodes. He's turned them all the way up so he can whisper.
I think he's turning him
Well,
down.
again, you're reading something into something that's
Well, how do you
provably-
know he's turning it up?
Because I said somebody just made one squeak of their shoes and he head almost exploded because it was so loud to him.
I think that those are dampening ear things.
They're not.
And he has because he's hearing like other dimensions because he spent too much time investigating.
It's possible, I suppose. But I don't agree with you.
Okay, go
And I
ahead.
don't agree to disagree with you either.
You're a feisty one today. All right.
Then he has to listen to Cole tell that turnip joke I put on his in memoriam. It's even better with the video, isn't it? Him just staring at Albert. And Albert's so
I
nonplussed.
completely forgot you had that in the in memoriam because it had no context back then.
Yeah.
But now
She didn't get it either.
it doesn't translate. Also, I don't think they have turnips in France.
The scene ends with some great comedy of Cole mishearing and Albert staring back at him. Because he's like, I gotta get back to my fine Bordeaux. He's like, what kind is it? He goes, it's 11:30. And then they stare at each other for a long time. And he goes, Albert, sometimes I really worry about you.
I don't understand all of their interactions, but I love them.
Tim Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh are staking out their next job. Roth takes the guy out with a rifle in front of his child, and they drive off to Wendy's like nothing's happened.
Good old Timothy.
There was a moment when the kid opened the door and saw his dead dad, where they cut to Tim Roth, and I thought, oh, maybe he's gonna be like, oh shit. But he's like, great, off to Wendy's. And I was like, fuck. It's pretty funny.
He's not a nice guy. That was the warden, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay. It took me a minute.
They've sent him to that job first, and they got to head to Vegas.
There's a twofer at Vegas he has to take care of.
Yes. Dr. Amp is doing his show again, and Nadine watches as always. He rants about corporations who eat, drink, and shit money. And I'm really starting to get on board with this Dr. Amp.
I've been on board since day one. I'd have bought a shovel.
Then we cut. Stop crinkling the paper. Then it's like David Lynch with the hearing thing up. You're making my head explode. Then we cut to Audrey Horne.
She's alive.
Now I've been thinking of the best way to cover this since the show started, because the Audrey Horne plot line is incomprehensible while it's happening. Mm-hmm. And I think incredibly important in the aftermath of thinking of the show.
Okay.
So I don't know how to talk about it other than we're just going to recap it. We're not going to get into the weeds on anything they're talking about because
Good luck.
because there's no I can't tell you. I can't tell you, or I don't know, but I also mostly can't tell you until we get to the end of it.
Well, then, if I have any thoughts, I will share them.
Okay. The best way to do it is just to line by line talk about what they're talking about, because this is where I told you that I cracked something that I've been thinking about for about 9 years on Twin Peaks: The Return. It hit me this watch through. What some of the things she was saying, why they mattered and what they meant, and it opened a door for me that is not like a major door. It's not one of the major mysteries of Twin Peaks: The Return, but it's something that I did wonder about. That when we get to our post-mortem episode, bonus episode on recapping what we think of theories and stuff, that I'm really excited to share and talk about, because it really opened something for me where I was like, oh fuck, I think I finally got this thing that has been bugging me for 9 years. So Audrey's staring at her husband Charlie. She wants to go to the roadhouse to find someone she's looking for, named Billy.
I saw that. I wrote it down.
It's another person looking for Billy.
Because that one guy ran into the diner and said, "Where's Billy?"
Like, to spoil the thing that, not to spoil it, but like to hint at the thing that I've solved here, the importance of Billy finally became clear to me.
Okay.
A character that we're never going to meet.
All right.
But it finally became clear to me.
And who's Tina?
Well, this is the point.
Okay.
That all of that is in the bucket of the things that finally snapped into place for me. It's another person looking for Billy. Charlie doesn't want to go because he has so much work to do. Billy's been missing for 2 days. Audrey's sleeping with Billy and wants her husband to help her find him. She also mentions someone named Tina, who was the last person to see Billy, and she can't stand Tina. She mentions someone named Paul and Chuck, all people we have no idea about.
Right.
Charlie calls Tina and has a lengthy conversation while Audrey becomes impatient, and Charlie won't tell Audrey what Tina even said. You get some good Audrey Horne sass here.
All right, yeah. So
But she's talking about people we don't know or think, which is a recurring thing at the Roadhouse. We're going to see again at the Roadhouse here.
now, real quick, let's do another Be Kind rewind.
Someone's watching a box.
Someone's watching a box, and when that someone was me watching it a long time ago, Audrey Horne, she was sort of in love with Cooper, and she ended up in a coma at the end of the original.
Yes, and then she was definitely raped by Mr. C.
Then Mr. C raped her, and she had Richard Horne.
Yes.
And now we haven't seen her this whole time, and suddenly she's awake and married, and it seems like a shitty marriage and some kind of contract, because there was, he was like, "You're going to renege on a contract?" And she's like, "That's what I'm fucking doing, you fucking fuck."
Yeah.
I like Audrey Horne a lot, by the way.
Well,
I think,
when I watched the show the first time, I was really like, what a weird thing they've had her do. She's only in a few episodes, and it just feels completely disconnected. And then I've kind of felt that for 9 years. And then watching it this time, when it snapped into place for me, I just thought, oh, I think this is like a major key to everything that I wasn't understanding, putting together quite right.
yeah, so Billy's missing. She's been sleeping with Billy.
Yeah.
And whoever Tina is, perhaps his wife, but Tina seems to be with Chuck, because the husband, the milquetoast husband, was finally like, I'll go to the diner with you. Then he's like, oh, wait a minute. Why don't
the Roadhouse?
The Roadhouse, yeah, sorry. It's the R&R diner.
Yeah.
Why do they keep things so similar? Aren't there other letters in this country of Twin Peaks? Everything's an R.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Audrey Horne. No, I guess that was it. And then she got real mad, and that's how it ended. He wouldn't tell her what he seemed to be perturbed by whatever information he received.
Yep.
Okay.
I can't talk. Like I said,
I know.
I can do here.
I know. I'm just kind of piecing this out in my head, trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. No. Okay. So Billy's missing. She's fucking Billy, and she's got an evil kid. She didn't bring up her evil kid.
She sure didn't.
Nope. All right. Maybe she doesn't even know that she had a kid because she was in a coma. All right. What
There's
happens
nothing I
then?
can do. I got to wait 6 more episodes to talk about this.
I see you staring down
Because
at
there's nothing I can do.
I know.
I
there's
want
not.
to talk about it more than anything, but there's 6 more episodes before I can talk about it. Because it was a 9-year bothersome thing about what was happening with these characters. I don't know who they are. And people we're going to get another scene in a minute where I don't know who these people are or why I have to care about them or what they're doing. I've never seen them before.
Oh, I know.
And I've figured out
All right, tell me the next
definitively what it is. Diane is at the bar and looks up the coordinates on Ruth Davenport's arm, and they lead to Twin Peaks.
The last few numbers were blurry, so are we 100% sure we're going to Twin Peaks? That is something I wonder.
Well, I do wonder that too, but
We'll leave it.
I want to point something out before we get to the final scene here. Coordinates in this show so far, and destinations and things, they've all been to portals, not
Yes.
to places. So they were going to the coordinates that, well, not coordinates, but the information that Bill Hastings gives about the location to go to was to a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Inside that portal is where he found the Major and was trying to give him coordinates. She's looking at the coordinates she was going to give were to Twin Peaks. But we're going to get more coordinates as we go on. The even if you want to take the map that they get from Major Briggs in his little message that he puts in the chair to Jack Rabbit's palace, those aren't coordinates, but they're directions. That's going to lead to a portal too. These coordinates will take you to the other side. These coordinates will take you to the White Lodge. These coordinates will take you to the Black Lodge. These coordinates will take you to Twin Peaks. So I just think of it in more of an abstract way of it's not as simple as anything ever appears to be.
Well, the place where fucking Shaggy, Bill Hastings, is that his name in this one?
Yeah.
Bill Hastings. The coordinates there, it was like a residential neighborhood that was all fenced off, and it almost looked like it was abandoned.
Right, because that's not what the coordinates were actually leading to. They were leading to the spot where Cole
Yeah.
could see through the portal.
I'm just wondering if there was like what the story of that those houses was beforehand.
Well, I mean, the entrance to the Black Lodge is just among sycamore trees in the woods, and the entrance to the White Lodge is by what's his name, Jack Rabbit Palace.
Yep. But this entrance was a swirly vortex in the sky. It'd be tough to build a house underneath that and not notice it every once in a while.
Nobody else saw it, just Cole.
I feel like you had to be directly underneath it.
Yeah,
There's
you
like
had to
a
be at the
certain-
coordinate.
Yes, exactly at the coordinate to do it.
The Chromatics are back on stage at the Roadhouse while another set of characters we don't know talk about characters that we don't know. Where's Angela? She might be with Clark. Clark and Mary were together 2 nights ago. A whole conversation about Angela and Clark from 2 characters that we also don't know. And a guy named Trick joins them, and he almost got in a car accident. And a lot is going on in these people's lives who we've never seen before and will never see again.
So these aren't the same people from a couple episodes ago who
No,
were
these
talking.
it's always different people in their own slice of a story that we're never watching.
I want to know who tried to run him off the road. And then I was trying to think back. Was there something in the episode with somebody driving erratically? Or did he get onto the lost highway accidentally? And that was Bill Pullman leaving town.
That's your one for this episode.
Yep, that was it though. That was the tie-in. He almost got ridden off the road. It was pitch black, lost highway, and somebody going really fast right at him as he was coming into town. That was Bill Pullman getting the fuck out of Dodge.
We reached a point now where I can't confirm or deny anything you're talking about because I think I did solve something here.
Okay, that's fun.
And I can't get into what it is, so there's nothing I can do.
I know. I'm going to take it that means I've rumbled the secret and I figured it out.
No, always assume the opposite.
I've rumbled the secret and I've got it. All right. So you figured out the secret and you're impressed that
It's not a major secret. It's not. Didn't figure out
major. You say
the big questions that will be left when Twin Peaks is over. I did not solve those, but I did solve the thing that was driving me nuts about these characters and who they are. That why am I watching them when I don't know who they are, or they're telling me stories that we don't have any familiarity with these characters they're talking about. And I finally figured out why.
Okay. We'll save it for the recap, though.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
As you know, one of the things that has been I love about the show is how I've never understood this thing where the Roadhouse, even things start changing a lot that we're seeing. Like at one point, Eddie Vedder is going to play at the Roadhouse.
Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder?
Yes, but he's credited under his real name. Like when they introduce him, he's not even Eddie Vedder. He doesn't use his stage name. He uses his actual just government name, and it's a weird moment. And then things start to get even weirder at the Roadhouse. One of the other musical performances is straight up insane, and then there's another musical thing that happens that's just as if not even more insane than that one. So things start breaking apart in ways that are fascinating. Okay. And it's always fascinated me what is happening, and I think I solved this part of the story of what's happening.
All right. Because it could be many things with unraveling. It could be a dreamer waking up. It could be, I don't know, just interdimensional forces pulling apart a planet.
It could be a lot of things, but this time I think I know what it is.
Okay.
Although the problem is always going to be the dreamer waking up thing, because we're going to get a couple hints about dreams that are very you can't just dismiss them. And it's very exciting. The show's going to get even better. Like the show's going to get better and better.
I'm hooked. I was hooked very early on in this. This is everything I like in a show. It's more fun than Lost because Lost goes nowhere, and I still have never finished it because I believe it goes nowhere in my heart of hearts, and I don't want to watch that ending.
This show, like maybe the most important thing on it is Jade gives 2 rides, because now I'm thinking of like where it's heading. This show gives 2 endings, and I think it does it for a specific purpose, and I think it delineates the lines so clearly between what one is meant to be and what the other is meant to be that it's fascinating. And I really love the ending of the show a lot, and I can't wait to get to it, but we're not going to get to it next week because next week we're going to be on to episodes 12 and 13, but we're getting there. We're three more episodes for us.
13 and 14, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had to do the math like 6 times this morning before I watched them.
Oh, yeah, we just 11 and 12.
Right, because I had to count them. Like, first was 1 and 2, then was 3 and 4,
Oh.
then 5 and 6, then 7 and 8, then 9 and 10. So that means it had to be 11 and 12 next.
No, 13 and 14. Oh, you mean today?
Yeah, today when I was doing the math. So wait, now I got to start. So first we did 1 and
the
2.
thing, when you're watching, it tells you what the last episode you watched was.
Yeah, but you watch them too. So
I don't watch it on there.
How do you not watch it on
I
there?
watch it on Paramount Plus because I won't watch the thing you're watching, so I don't want to screw you up because it's hard enough to get you to watch it. I'm not going to make it more difficult so you just give up and go away.
But no, it won't. It'll be like a mystery has happened. The dreaming has become the reality, and they've switched things on me. When I was watching it this morning, you know what was really cool? The part where they see the lodge monster in episode 11, the hobo monster, not the woodsman.
Yeah.
Right when
Woodsman's Apprentice.
when the woodsman apprentice, when Albert and Cole see him, my whole screen went black. Like something happened with the TV or the recording or something, and then it came back, but it had cut out like that 2 seconds of them seeing it and talking about like, was that part of the show? It's just the whole world went black, and I had to rewind it, and it turned out it was just some glitch in. But it fit perfectly. I can watch this show however you want to chop it up because I don't know that it's going to affect my understanding any.
Well, next week, we'll be getting to part 13 and part 14, and the secret titles for those, which are just titles that are sometimes used, taken from dialogue from the show, are part 13, What Story Is That, Charlie? Charlie, of course, being Audrey's husband. And part 14, We Are Like the Dreamer. This is where, that's a good one. That's a good one that fills a lot of the Twin Peaks theories you're going to get from that episode.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got one wrap-up note for you. Maybe you can solve my mystery. On my notes, I have written down fish papers.
Nope.
Nothing?
Solve it. Nope.
Really? I don't know what that means, but it has something to do with, I have it right next to Audrey, Billy missing 2 days, Tina, Timothy Roth, fish papers.
Timothy Roth, yeah.
I don't know what fish papers mean.
I have no idea.
I also wrote down Bobby as daddy,
Yep. Something I told you and you could have written down many weeks ago.
but I wrote it down right now. Nope, that was it. That was it. The fish papers. That's going to mean something. Since
I
neither
like-
one of us can remember.
Even the little moment where Bobby's at the diner talking with Shelly and his daughter, and she needs money. And her mom's, Shelly's like, I'll give you the money. And she's like, oh, I can't take any more of your money. And my husband, stupid husband, spent it all anyway. And Bobby says, I'll give you the money, but you got to pay me back. I think that's like the best parenting because he's watched this daughter take advantage with no repercussions forever of Shelly. And he's like, I'll give you the money. And then he stops and thinks about it for a second. He's like, but that's not the end of this contract. Like, you have to start putting something into this. And it's like, that's the perfect way to handle that. And I think Norma was the woman who owns the diner. I think she's watching their altercation. And I think she looks at him like, that is something that Shelly should have said a long time ago. And Shelly just keeps getting walked all over, which is what Shelly's role in the world is, unfortunately. And now she doesn't want to be with the one guy who stopped walking all over her.
That's right, because she's got, you know who she's got.
I know who she's got.
He's too cool, but
But if he's Bill Pullman, the one thing I recall from that movie specifically is that he's a dead fuck.
he's
That's like the whole point, is that he's a dead fuck. He can't please his wife.
well, after he killed her, he's moved on. Now he's got,
Remember it ends with them fucking on the beach and her laughing at him when she's Balthazar Getty because he still can't please her, and then he turns back into Bill Pullman because she belittled him all the way back into his Bill Pullman form.
no, but that was him. But then he kills
That
her.
movie's great.
Then he kills her, and he's like, I know what I meant to do, and he goes off on the Lost Highway to like do interdimensional crime.
That movie's great. The one that you think you watched isn't nearly as interesting to me as the one that I watched.
The one I watched is so
You
much
mean when
better.
he's driving away and then the electricity gets him because
The
he's in an electric chair?
But that's how you move. That's how you shift between everything. Like, yeah, maybe at some point the idea was to kill him with an electric chair, but that just gives him the power to transport. That's what put him on the Lost Highway to begin with, and then somehow sent him back in time.
What do you think was better, our argument about the Angelo Badalamenti score or the argument about what the chair meant last episode that had nothing to do with anything? It does come back briefly.
Does it?
I thought it didn't.
No,
but
it did. Yeah, we're
When-
never at home anyway. I
Yeah.
don't know why we're fighting.
They
about
overhear Lucy talking about it.
That's
So it does come back. I was wrong. There is a brief reprise of that scene.
which doesn't.
Now I'm curious if there's more.
It doesn't. It solves nothing. It brings no further like closure to the argument we had. Like what?
No, it doesn't.
No.
If anything, it's worse.
Right. It just leaves me even more confused about my stance. I think we both might have been wrong.
No, I think I'm right because if you want to look at what she says to him, it's forgiving having the argument, not what they were arguing about.
No, it's the
All right, but no, we've done enough. We've done enough, and things are only going to get much more complicated going forward on Twin Peaks.
There's going to be a whole room full of chairs.
The Audrey Horne stuff is what makes it so incomprehensible. Is the same reason those end Roadhouse scenes become incomprehensible at the end, and they have to be on purpose. And one of the great things about David Lynch's work, all of it, is that I've never been able to put into words what I thought was happening, but what I've come up with, what I've think solved, fits exactly how I felt anyway, without even being able to say it. So these are works you can sit with and feel like you get a gist of it without even being able to explain what it is. And then when that penny dropped, and I was like, wait a minute, I understand why all these characters are things we don't know and people we don't never heard of. When I figured it out, I was like, okay, it fits everything I thought without or felt without thinking it.
Is it because they're all people who work on the show and I should pay more attention to the credits?
No.
Those are all names of people?
No.
And they're having conversations about this world.
No, it's impossible for you to guess because you haven't seen the end of the show yet.
I've seen
When
the
you
end.
see the end of the show, you might be able to guess. But I was for years like bedeviled by who the fuck is Billy? Why are we hearing about something we're never going to get payoffs to? And I finally understand why all of these characters that we don't know are talking about people we don't know. I finally understand it, and I'm very excited about it.
I know. You're a little bit slower than me, though. So
That's true.
I've halfway
That's true.
figured this out
You've been
already.
looking for a character that's not even in the show for now 11, 12 episodes.
I've halfway figured this whole thing out, so I can't wait till we get to...
Well, we're more than halfway there, so you're not going to make it.
Yeah, but it's only because the first few episodes didn't really have much going on. It's only now.
They feel very different than what the show's become. And since it was written all at the same time by the same person, that was deliberate.
That's crazy. You're right. The first 10 compared to... Actually,
No,
like
the first
episode
4. I
8.
think just the first 4 episodes are before it starts giving you hints of things coming back to life.
It's
that you're
episode
looking for.
8, though. That
Yeah, I know.
After that...
But episode 7 was incredible. Episode 6 was really good, too. They started getting more into connecting the stuff to Twin Peaks again. Twin Peaks is coming back online, but that doesn't always mean good things, as we learn.
Yeah, it
in
doesn't.
this episode, we learn.
It's just... Yeah, it's not coming. But the doorway, the coordinates are opening. Something.
Yep. That's right. That we can agree.
All over the place. I think they were always open, but the Twin Peaks one is showing activity again.
The electricity's humming.
The electricity is humming, and that means the Lost Highway is open for business.
Nope. All right. We'll see you next week for episodes 13 and 14. And you'll be watching them minutes before we start so that you can not contain your ignorance and not understanding.
I understand everything.
I think this is what makes this episodes that we're doing so great is that I've had 9 years to think about things and then you just throw out fart noises because you just finished watching it.
But those are real legitimate thoughts.
Are they? You spent most of it looking for Bill Pullman again.
I didn't look for. He was there. He was right there, and then he left the screen.
So his end of his character arc from Lost Highway is now he fucks good.
Yes, because he got his mojo back.
And he got Madge Amick, who still looks fucking incredible.
He killed his stupid wife who was bringing him down and cheating on him.
Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, and then he took off on the Lost Highway, and he's still filled. He's not a good guy. Like, keep that in mind. Like, Bill Pullman's a murderer in that movie, and he goes off, and now I think he's just kind of fallen into bad ways, and he's selling like interdimensional drugs and stuff. It's not just he's not from Canada crossing this border, like the U.S. Canadian border. He's crossing the dimensional border as well.
Oh, it's interesting you bring that up for where this show's going to go because we're going to get more coordinates. Many episodes from now, we're going to get more coordinates that are a clear crossing into a dimensional portal. The show starts making more sense the more times you watch it, I think.
I 100% can see that.
The way I want to end this is by telling you what Bill Pullman's character said at the party in Lost Highway.
Okay, what? I have no idea.
You're fucking crazy, man.
He says that to the Lodge Monster?
It is, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The Lodge Monster, played by real life monster Robert Blake, who was accused of murdering his wife and lost in a civil trial. Did get off. He OJ'd it.
Was
They
he the
let
one
him
on
off
the
in-
boat with Christopher Walken?
No.
Okay.
That's Robert Wagner. They, who nobody thinks did it really. I don't think they gave him an OJ. They let him off in criminal court, but then civil trial said you totally did this.
Well, he is one of those monsters.
That was
In
his
real
last
life?
acting role, Robert Blake.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good one to go out on.
No,
You're
I just
fucking
meant-
crazy, man.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, are you talking about me?
Gotta go.